Spin up your neural implants and augment your mental capacities unfathomably as we delve deep into the mother nest in Alastair Reynolds' novel Redemption Arc. Redemption Arc can be considered as the direct sequel to Revelation Space, both in terms of its setting but also the inclusion of several important main characters, something that did not happen in this clear fashion with the preceding novels and novellas, which were more loosely connected. With its 694 pages, Redemption Arc is roughly 100 pages longer than Revelation Space and, curiously, exactly the same length to the page as the book Chasm City. If there is any deeper meaning to this, or whether Alastair Reynolds had some kind of template for these books that he just reused, who knows? Who cares? Unsurprisingly, Redemption Arc scores quite similar in most semi-objective figures of merit in comparison with Revelation Space and Chasm City. The collection of two novellas, Diamond Dogs, Turquoise Days, is somewhat of an outlier in this regard though. Thus, Redemption Arc continues the relatively hard science fiction setting with sub-light-speed interstellar travel as one main limiting factor. Furthermore, Redemption Arc manages to expand the narrative setting even more, and the feeling of isolation between narrative threads is not as pronounced as in contrast to the other previous novels. Moreover, it likely helps that a lot of the world building already took place, most of the heavy lifting having been done earlier in the series. Additionally, the amount of original ideas and novel concepts is also quite high, especially for a second entry into a series. It certainly helps in this case that one of the main plotlines centers around the faction of the Conjoiners. We will discuss them and what they bring to the table in more detail later. Regarding the amount of main and side characters in Redemption Arc, we are again in familiar territory when it comes to the wider Revelation Space series, with a middle-of-the-road size for the dramatis personae. In terms of critical reception, Redemption Arc was nominated twice, namely for the Locus Award for Best Science Fiction Novel in the year 2003 and the Sayun Award for Best Translated Long Form in the year 2009. It was also described as the best science fiction novel of the year 2002 by The Chronicle. Its popular reception is evidenced by a respectable combined rating of 4.2 out of 5 stars, based on thousands of reviews listed on the usual aggregator sites. Now, as a cautionary warning, the following plot description of Redemption Arc, as well as parts of the subsequent discussion, may contain spoilers to Chasm City and Revelation Space. So take the steps that you deem necessary. The spoiler parts will be adequately marked in the video for your convenience. The key plotlines of Redemption Arc take place in the 27th century, several decades after the events in Revelation Space. Triumvir Ilya Volyova and Anna Kuri are on the planet Resurgam, facing a new and deadly threat. The Inhibitors, ancient machines intent on dismantling human civilization. As these machines start a mysterious construction project involving the system's gas giant, Volyova and Kuri scramble to evacuate Resurgam's population of 200,000 people, using their spaceship, the Lighthugger Nostalgia for Infinity, as an ark for the escape. Meanwhile, or an equivalent temporal descriptor in a spacetime governed by relativistic effects. Neville Clevane, still in the Yellowstone system, also a veteran soldier from the Conjoiners, a faction of humanity that has embraced advanced neurotechnology, manages to discover the danger stemming from the inhibitors as well. However, as Clevane becomes disillusioned with the Conjoiners' plans to address this existential threat, he defects, joining forces with a diverse group of rebels on a desperate mission to find a way to counter the inhibitor menace. As mentioned at the beginning of this review, the detailed description of the Conjoiners is one of the reasons that Redemption Arc is able to bring many new ideas and intriguing concepts to the table. The Conjoiners are one of the three major factions of humanity in the Revelation Space series, the other two being the Ultranauts and Demarchists, which were more prominently featured in the previous novels. The Conjoiners are characterized by their use of neural implants for collective intelligence and advanced technological innovations. Originating from radical scientists, they have extended lifespans and superior cognitive abilities, enabling rapid coordinated decision-making. Their society, though theoretically egalitarian, harbors secretive inner circles and often isolates itself from the other factions of humanity. Although they do provide their so-called conjoiner drives to the deep space-faring nomadic Ultranauts for their interstellar light huggers. Furthermore, the Demarchists, most prominently featured in Yellowstone's Chasm City and its surroundings, as well as the Conjoiners, share some characteristics, such as the use of neural implants. However, the Demarchists employ them to facilitate their philosophy of individual freedoms and collective decision-making via a continuous direct democracy, allowing citizens to vote on issues instantaneously while not going as far as the Conjoiners and their shared consciousnesses, who are often derogatorily labeled a hive mind by the other factions of humanity. Thus, by the detailed description of the Conjoiners as a major faction, the wider Revelation Space series is significantly enriched from a world-building perspective. The interplay between the Ultranauts, Demarchists and Conjoiners also changed throughout history. An alignment between the Demarchists and Conjoiners in the past turned into a rivalry and even conflict in later centuries, for instance. Details like these are important to flesh out a narrative universe and to make sure that the setting of the story feels real and not like an empty stage. Also, the newly added characters, such as the previously mentioned Clevane, seem to be better developed than some characters of the previous novels. Dan Sylvestre would be one example here. However, don't get me wrong, veteran characters from the previous novels, such as the mysterious H, as well as Volyova and Kuri, play a major role in Redemption Arc, and they are also able to conclude their narrative threads as well. It is also no coincidence that the novel is called Redemption Arc, since a major theme is the atonement for past transgressions. Moreover, the tone and atmosphere of Redemption Arc are charged with a palpable urgency absent from the previous novels, driven by the imminent threat of the mysterious inhibitors. This heightened sense of peril ensures that the plot remains tightly focused and never loses momentum. Only several chapters focusing, for instance, on the origin of the Conjoiners in the Sol system tend to break this pattern. However, they are a welcome respite and offer important background information that are crucial to fully grasp the intentions and motivations of certain characters as well as for certain factions of humanity. Overall, Redemption Arc is a well-written, gripping novel in an interesting and further expanded narrative universe, with quote-unquote improved characters, at least if compared with earlier installments of the series, and there are also specifically several main characters. In my view, it is a strong contender for the high watermark in the Revelation Space series, and that should say a lot when you consider which novels are part of that series. Obviously, the novels Revelation Space and to a microscopically lesser extent Chasm City are mandatory reading before even considering to jump headlong into Redemption Arc. These two novels will also give you ample opportunity to gauge whether the books written by Alastair Reynolds are to your liking. If that is indeed the case and you did enjoy reading them, then Redemption Arc is something to get excited about. If you liked this video, you may also enjoy the other reviews and content on my channel. Feel free to leave a comment if you want to discuss the novels or if you want to suggest other books that I should review in the future. Please consider upvoting and subscribing, it is much appreciated. Thank you for watching and until next time.